Welcome to the Nom, a visual story of Edward Marks, who's basically going to be your everyman through this entire journey. Hello everyone, Jaime Moreno here, and I am your danger reporter. We're covering Volume 1 of the Nom. This was basically a Jim Shooter idea passed down to Larry Hama, who recruited a fellow Vietnam veteran in David Bradley to write the story. The Nom had to do many, many unique things for what it was. The first thing it had to do is it had to defy the comics code and kind of circumvent it. The comics code had provisions where it couldn't show criminality, the bad guys never win, that type of deal. The other thing you had to compete with in the 1980s is that a lot of Vietnam veterans were not talking about the war, my father included, in that struggle. A lot of these veterans, Hama and Bradley, did not like to talk about this war. This was the most controversial war. It was not a forgotten war, and probably this war set up the alpha testing of the quote-unquote social justice warriors because of how the news had turned people against the war, how these students were protesting. Probably a lot of those students are your college professors today. Of course, a lot of the Vietnam War was not pretty as well. A lot of the tactics that were used in that war were not very pretty. You can also see a demonstration of that in Punisher the Platoon, which I will review book 2 through 6 eventually. Now, here's one thing that you should note about the Nom is that every issue of the Nom that you're going to read here, Volume 1 covers 1 through 10. Every issue is 30 days in real time. Issue 1 is January, Issue 2 is February, Issue 3 is March. That means it's passing January in that timeline, February in that timeline, March in that timeline. Everything takes a span of 30 days, so everything kind of updated itself in real time. Basically, the goal that Hama had was he wanted to tell the story of the Nom in the view of the grunt, the everyman. So they brought in the fictional 25th Division, which was an infantry group, a light infantry. A lot of these missions take place in the deep bush of Vietnam. Now, you do hear all of the antics of Vietnam. You've got your punji sticks, you've got your bamboo snakes, you've got the terms. You're going to see a term a lot in the Nom, is that every soldier is saying they're getting pretty short. That's not a term that's used today in modern military anymore. We just get blunt and to the point and say, I ain't got that much time left, or screw it. Someone else's problem, I'm out in 3 days. In Vietnam, whenever they said they were short meant that they had 3 weeks left, 2 weeks left, 1 week left, where he said, or I'm 5 days short. That's what the term means. Anyhow, if you get confused by everything, read through the book. Larry did provide a glossary at the end of this volume. He'll provide glossaries at the end of every volume of the Nom. There are 3, because the Nom ran from 1986 to 1990. I didn't catch this book in its first run because, to be honest, in 1986 I was a 6-year-old kid. I wouldn't have understood the concepts, and my dad wasn't exactly clamoring out to go buy a book that reminded him of the most painful period in his life either. Now, there are scenes, that kind of skirt the comic codes of America. One scene, there are people getting shot, there are people getting killed, there's guns firing. Sometimes the bad guy does win for the moment. The comics code made exceptions on some things for Larry because of the nature of this war. They understood that they could not alter history, which they didn't. They didn't tell the exact stories of what happened out there in the bush. However, it's perfect allegories. It gives you an idea through the eyes of Marx and his various people. It does talk about the various corruption schemes that there were amongst the higher NCOs and the officers. It's not a very sugar-coated view as well, because there are crooked soldiers, some that are on the take. It also shows the nature of the Viet Cong, who are very vicious, and even some of the people that were quote-unquote on our side were also on the take. It's a realistic view with a very unrealistic story and an allegoric division. However, if you do catch this on sale, definitely grab it. I mean, if you catch it at full price, definitely grab it as well. It's probably one of Hama's better works, next to his G.I. Joe works. Even if you don't agree with Hama's politics, separate the politics from the man. This is a well-written book by David Bradley, who did leave around what would be the volume 3 because of the politics, and Shooter was out the door around 89 to 90. So definitely check this book out. If you want to show some love, I've got links below. Also, you can catch myself and Feisty Comic Fan on this channel, actually, at 11:30 on Sunday night, as we are the Comically Odd Couple. We've got some odd books lined up for you. And also, I want to give a personal deal that I think everyone has heard about, the comic book writer that is currently homeless, or he's going through a period of homelessness. Check out I Love Comics. Check out this Friday, Yellow Flash is going to have a stream. Various others are going to support. I'm sorry, I forgot his name. But this man needs your help, so check out, like I said, I Love Comics. Check us all out on Twitter. Yellow Flash is going to have a stream to try to raise money as well. Definitely support a fellow indie comic book community that has given us a lot of happiness through our childhood. Anyhow, I do thank you for taking a listen to this review. I'll see you on the next one.